What if I told you money isn't just paper, it's energy, and the way you think, act, and feel about it determines how much flows into your life? Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into a life-changing perspective, seeing money as energy. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to attract wealth without chasing it, by aligning your mindset, habits, and daily actions with abundance. Before we start, make sure to hit subscribe and tap the like button. It really helps this message reach more people who need it. Point 1. Money is not material, it's energy. Here's the first thing you must understand. Money is not material, it's energy. Throughout history, money has changed its clothes. Sometimes it looked like seashells, then gold coins, then paper bills, and now, just numbers glowing on a digital screen. But the essence never changed. It was always about one thing: energy exchange. Think about it. A farmer plants seeds and harvests wheat. That's energy. The baker transforms that wheat into bread. That's energy. You hand over money for the bread, and in return, you receive nourishment. It's not about the paper, the coin, or the number. It's about the flow of value. When you see money this way, you stop chasing it like some external prize. Instead, you start asking a deeper question: am I aligned with the flow of energy? Take the example of a musician. They pour their soul into creating a song. That's energy. When people pay to experience that music, that's not just a transaction. It's an exchange of energy. Their passion, talent, and time are converted into sound, and the world responds with appreciation, expressed as money. So, let me ask you something. What energy are you putting into the world that others truly value? Because the truth is, the money you attract is simply a reflection of the energy you give. Point 2. Scarcity versus abundance, the mindset shift. We live in a world that constantly whispers, there's not enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunities, not enough time. This is the scarcity mindset. And here's the trap: when you believe there isn't enough, you act out of fear, and fear closes every door in your life. But abundance isn't about having millions in your bank account. It's about realizing that the universe is not stingy, it's overflowing with opportunities. The problem is not the supply, it's our ability to see and tap into it. Think of water. Two people stand at the same river. One says, "This is all mine, I must guard it." The other says, "The river flows endlessly, let me share and build with it." Who thrives? The one who sees abundance. When you shift your perception, you begin to notice opportunities where others only see obstacles. You start moving from fear into flow. Take this simple example. Two people lose their jobs. One panics, convinced they'll never find work again. The other thinks, this is my chance to start something new. Same situation. Completely different outcomes, because of mindset. Money flows to those who live in abundance, not scarcity. Why? Because people are drawn to creators, problem solvers, and visionaries. Fear repels. Creativity attracts. So ask yourself, am I operating from fear of lack, or trust in abundance? Because the way you answer that question will shape your financial destiny more than any paycheck ever will. Point 3. Money flows where value flows. Here's a truth most people miss. Money doesn't chase talent, money chases value. You could be the most skilled person in the world, but if your skill doesn't solve a problem or create meaning for others, it won't translate into wealth. Think of a smartphone. The device itself isn't just glass and metal, it's valuable because it solves problems: communication, entertainment, access to information. That's why billions flow into that industry. Now compare this to someone who has a brilliant idea but never brings it into reality. The value remains locked inside their mind, and so does the money. This is why the Hermetic principle of correspondence applies so beautifully here. As above, so below. The ideas you hold in your mind only manifest into wealth when you bring them into the world as solutions, creations, or experiences that others truly value. Take an example from history. Thomas Edison didn't just invent the light bulb. He gave people more hours in their day, more productivity, more possibility. He created value that transformed society. That's why money flowed to him. The modern version? Content creators, entrepreneurs, innovators. A YouTuber who inspires millions, or a startup that saves people time, or an artist who captures truth in a painting, all of them are rewarded not because they demand money, but because they generate value. Here's the paradox. The more you stop obsessing over money and instead obsess over creating value, the more money begins to flow naturally to you. It's not magic. It's resonance. Money is energy, and it gravitates toward people who increase the energy of others through value, reflection. Don't ask, how can I make more money? Instead ask, how can I create more value in people's lives? Because if you get that right, money won't just come, it will multiply. Point 4. Wealth reflects inner alignment. Here's something few people realize. Your financial reality is often a mirror of your inner state. If you live in fear, constantly believing that money is scarce, you'll attract situations that confirm that belief. If you carry guilt about wealth, you'll unconsciously push it away. If you feel unworthy, opportunities will slip through your fingers, not because they weren't there, but because you weren't aligned to receive them. This is where the Hermetic principle of mentalism speaks loudly. All is mind. Your outer world is shaped by your inner world. Money is no different. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to magnetize abundance without forcing it? It's not just their work, it's their energy. They carry certainty, confidence, and gratitude. They act as though abundance is their natural state, and reality bends to meet that expectation. Contrast that with someone who is desperate, chasing, grasping. Their energy repels rather than attracts. People can feel it. And money, being energy, flows away from desperation and towards stability, creativity, and trust. Look at spiritual teachers, inventors, or leaders throughout history. The ones who transformed the world weren't always chasing wealth, yet resources flowed to them because they were in deep alignment with their purpose. The lesson here is powerful. Wealth is less about what you do, and more about who you are while doing it. Practical example, if you sell something purely to make money, people sense the emptiness. But if you offer something out of genuine passion and service, the same product suddenly feels magnetic. Why? Because the energy behind it is clean. Reflection. Instead of asking, what can I do to get rich? Ask, what part of myself must I align with to naturally attract abundance? When your inner world vibrates with clarity, gratitude, and purpose, wealth follows as a reflection, not as a chase. Point 5. Money requires flow, not hoarding. Here's a truth that almost everyone resists. Money dies in stagnation. When you hoard, cling, or lock it away in fear, you interrupt the natural law of circulation. And Hermetic wisdom teaches us that everything flows, everything moves, everything vibrates. Nothing in life is static, not water, not air, not love, and certainly not money. Think about the Dead Sea in Israel. Water flows in, but never flows out, and so it becomes lifeless. Compare that to a river, constantly moving, nourishing everything along its path. The same applies to wealth. If you grip it too tightly, it loses its vitality. But when you allow money to move, through giving, investing, creating, it multiplies. Even Jesus echoed this principle when he said, "Give, and it will be given to you." A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. Luke 6 verse 38, he wasn't only talking about kindness, he was describing a universal law. What you circulate, returns with increase. Practical example, the person who spends wisely, invests in growth, and gives generously often finds that doors open for them. Opportunities, connections, and even unexpected income show up, because their energy aligns with flow. Meanwhile, the one who clings in fear is trapped in scarcity. Their money shrinks, their spirit contracts, and life reflects that back to them. It doesn't mean recklessly spending, it means keeping money in motion, directing it toward value, service, and creation. Reflection, ask yourself, do I let my wealth flow like a river, or do I trap it like a stagnant pool? Remember, what you give life to, gives life back to you. Point 6. Money obeys the law of rhythm. One of the most overlooked truths about wealth is that money moves in cycles. The Hermetic law of rhythm teaches us that everything in life has its tides, rise and fall, boom and bust, gain and loss. Just as night follows day and seasons follow one another, money too moves in rhythms. History proves this. Economies expand, then contract. Markets rise, then crash, then rise again. Even in your personal life, you'll notice moments of abundance followed by times of tightening. And yet, this is not chaos. It's rhythm. It's law. Jesus pointed to this rhythm when he spoke about sowing and reaping. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, will never cease. Genesis 8 verse 22. In other words, life moves in patterns, and money is no exception. So, what's the wisdom? Don't fear the winters, and don't get drunk on the summers. If you understand rhythm, you'll plant seeds in lean times, and harvest wisely in times of plenty. You won't panic when money flows out, because you know it will flow back in. Think about wealthy investors, they don't run when markets crash. They prepare during abundance and plant during scarcity, because they understand rhythm. Reflection, ask yourself, am I resisting the cycles, or learning to ride them? Wealth doesn't belong to the one who clings to summer, but to the one who trusts the seasons. Point 7. Money mirrors your inner beliefs. Here's perhaps the deepest truth of all, your relationship with money is a mirror of your relationship with yourself. The Hermetic law of correspondence tells us, as within, so without. What you believe internally will always manifest externally. If you secretly believe money is evil, you'll unconsciously push it away. If you think wealth is only for other people, you'll never allow yourself to step into abundance. Jesus understood this inner law. He said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. Matthew 9 verse 29, in other words, the world reflects back what you truly believe, not what you merely wish for. If deep down you feel unworthy, money will slip through your hands no matter how much you earn. But if you believe you are worthy of abundance, and that wealth is simply a tool to serve, give, and grow, you'll begin to attract, manage, and multiply it. Think of two people given the same $10,000. One sees it as a burden, spends it recklessly, and loses it quickly. The other sees it as seed, invests wisely, and multiplies it. Same money. Different inner beliefs. Completely different outcome. So here's the challenge. Stop asking, how do I make more money? Instead, ask, what do I believe about money? Do my beliefs invite it, or repel it? Reflection, True wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind and heart. Change your beliefs, and you'll change your financial reality. So, here's the truth. Money is energy, flowing in response to your value, mindset, alignment, and belief. By understanding and applying these 7 Hermetic principles, you can transform how you earn, spend, and attract wealth. If this video changed the way you think about money, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone ready to elevate their financial life. Comment below, money is energy, to lock this wisdom into your mind today.